What's happening, St. Mark's? David Woodford here with another devotional verb word for you. And, I'll give you a little insight into my process. Here's what I do. I look up biblical verbs and then I start to study it. And I study the instances that it pops up in the Bible. I study the word itself. And then I usually try and pull in a little personal anecdote or something relevant, and then we talk about that word. And it's a refresher, and it helps us remember how we are supposed to act as Christians. Because verbs are usually words, this is what we tell kids in school, they are words that things we do. They are actions. They are not necessarily, they aren't necessarily descriptors, they aren't necessarily, adjectives. They are words that describe the way that we behave. So as Christians, verbs are very important because Christianity is a prescriptive religion. It is a religion that says, here's how we ought to do things as decreed by God. Therefore, it stands to reason that studying the verbs of the Bible is important because it allows us to discover what the nature of God's reality is for us. So, if you haven't peeked at the title of this already, what we're talking about is humility. I don't want to get too serious. These things are light. We keep things light and snappy around here. But humility is important. As you know, there's an election going on. And if you're watching this on a Friday, it's probably pretty clear who has won. At this point, it's anybody's game. It's up in the air. But I want to talk to the side who eventually wins. Whoever that side is, humility is important. This word shows up in the Bible all the time. And I think in America and in other countries, whenever a team wins or whenever a political opponent is crushed, the winning side often celebrates. We tend to dance on the body of the person who has been desecrated at the altar of public opinion. That's how we do things sometimes. That's wrong. That's terribly wrong. And I think that we need to re-examine what it means to be humble. So, I'm gonna do what I always do, and I'm gonna pull out a couple of scriptures for you guys. So, first off, let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs 22 verse 4, it says, "The reward for humility and fear of the Lord is riches and honor and life." Dude, that sounds great. I mean, what better excuse do you have to be humble? But here's the thing. Again, no matter how many times we read the Bible, we often struggle with it. So I'm gonna read some more scripture for you real quick. In 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5, it says, "Likewise, you who are younger, be subject to the elders. Clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility toward one another, for God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." And in Colossians chapter 3, verse 12, it says, "Put on them as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience." And the final scripture we have is James chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "But God gives more grace. Therefore," it says, "God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." We're living in crazy times right now. If you're on social media, people are dunking on each other, going ham, going crazy. People in the world going crazy. And, I'm filming this on Wednesday, so I don't know what's going on. I'm past David, speaking to you, future St. Mark's. And whoever you are, and whoever you support, be it your team, your sports team, your political team, your political candidate, whoever that person is, that we should always be gracious and humble. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.